Hi, hello, and welcome. A warm welcome to everyone to Book Reads Live. Book Reads is a community of bibliophiles. We have writers, readers, bloggers, and poets who gather under one roof to discuss everything books. Today, we are joined by our guest, who is also a poetess, Akhila. Hi, Akhila. Good evening.
Hi, Sheldon. Good evening. Thanks for
How,
having me
how are
here.
you?
I'm
Oh,
fine.
yeah, happy that you joined us.
Yeah.
Right. So, Akila, can you just tell me and our guests, viewers, what a little more about you and about your book?
I'm a literature enthusiast, and Tamarind is my debut poetry collection. And I do like reading books, writing, and I have published some of my works in different journals and platforms. I do have a YouTube channel, which is with the name of Akhila's Book Nook, which is dedicated to books and literature.
Okay.
And I work as a corporate communications professional in Chennai.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Very interesting. I like the title Tamarind,
Yeah,
and the tagline goes very well with it as well.
yeah. Thank
I'm
you.
reminded of samosas for a reason, for some reason.
Yeah, yeah. I have a very, very what to say, a very distinct relationship with the spice tamarind. I'm from South India, but
Oh,
I was born and brought up in North India. But if you'll see that most of the South Indian dishes, tamarind is a very important element. And I
okay.
don't know uh, I if I really like it because I don't like the sour taste much. Okay, I
Okay.
have a sweet tooth, or I like spicy like chili stuff, but I don't like sour as such. So I'm not sure whether I really like tamarind. And sometimes I feel that life is like a tamarind, you are just confused whether you really like it, or sometimes because of the hardships you sometimes just feel like giving it all up. So that's
Okay.
what. So I thought of giving this
So this
title.
is the Tamarind is a collection of poems, or
Yeah,
is it? Okay.
yeah.
So these are
It is a
love.
collect. Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead. It's a collection of love poems, is it?
it's no. It is basically it's divided into four sections: love, loss, longing, and life. And if you'll see, most of the poems are confessional, written or inspired from my own experiences. But
Oh,
at the
okay.
same time, you will find the themes are quite universal. Like I have written on old age, the longing for home, um, the issue of violence, domestic violence, losing
Oh,
the pain of losing someone close or loved ones, love for nature. I'm a nature lover, so that's how I have divided, uh, the poems. There are overall 33 poems, and I have
oh,
divided into four sections. Yeah.
okay. That's a huge collection of poems. Very nice, very nice. So it's basically kind of a, if I can understand, it's a collection of poems that journeys through life and its different phases.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
mostly the things which I experienced. For example, I live in a place which is surrounded by marshlands, and it looks very beautiful because it is always filled with migratory birds. So there is a poem titled The 𝗕elle Marshlands. So people
Okay.
across India and other countries, they come here and just to watch the birds during the season, and it's beautiful. And it looks like, small islands because I stay on 13th floor. So that is one thing. So nature is a huge inspiration for me. Then, as I said, one poem is dedicated, it's titled Amma, which is dedicated to all the mothers about their
Oh,
sacrifices. And that is very close to my heart. And then there are poems like Longing, another poem titled The Old Man Who Dug His Own Grave. So it is it is like, inspired by my own personal experience, because my grandfather did that. That he just dug his own grave, so that he didn't want to disturb my parents or his kids. So he
Oh,
just
okay.
dug his own grave. So it talks about the longing for children. It talks about the fear that they might uh, die alone.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but I feel it's very commonly found, these emotions. That's why I said it
Oh,
is
right.
also universal, the themes.
So, what was the inspiration to write?
Inspiration, to be honest, I come from a family of writers.
Oh,
So my great grandfather, we are from Kerala basically, and so his name was 𝗕ciecie𝗸 and he was given the upadhi of the Mahakavi of Kerala. He was a courtier poet, and he's quite popular. If you'll Google it, I mean, it was like a century ago, but if you'll Google about him, so you'll find details about him. But I could never meet him. But then my father also writes. He has published. He has his own collection of short stories, 2 books.
oh,
And then my grandparents from maternal side, my grandfather, he was also a translator and a writer. So I got that kind of atmosphere, and I was a
okay.
voracious reader. And and I'm someone who is very sensitive and likes expressing. So if I'm not able to express by speaking, I just write it on the paper. So that was the inspiration, and I started quite early in my life, like 13, 14. But it was all up to,
Okay.
it was like I just kept it with me. I never published. And I was
Okay. So,
also a
this is your first
journalist.
book.
Yeah, this is my
Oh,
first book. So I was a former journalist when I started publishing stories, and that's how I came to know about the publishing process. And I got some good responses, and it just happened. The book just happened after that.
okay. So, this is the one of many that is going to follow.
Yeah. Great.
Good, good. Very nice.
Thank you.
Mhm. But I'm sure story writing or writing is not something
Hmm.
that comes hereditary to everybody.
Yeah.
It can be developed, it can be worked, and I'm sure there are people with a lot of stories, which brings
Right.
me to uh, Storybook, which is a
Hmm.
monthly writing competition that we have, that is under the umbrella
Okay.
of Rostrum.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
since this is February, we had the theme for love.
Hmm.
And yeah, 28th is the last day of submission. So, even for this is an announcement to all those who are still hesitating, please go ahead, write your story, share it with the world, share it with us. We are waiting. And unlike Akhila, I'm sure a lot of us have the passion and nobody knows about it. So if we are able to, put pen to paper and vomit out the words, it will be something that may be very beautiful.
Right. It's
So
interesting
yeah,
competition.
yes, a lot of entries already, and really good stories so far. What I've read. Uh, so, have you participated by any chance?
Not yet, but now since you have told, so I'm going to because the theme is very close to the one of the themes of my book, Love.
Okay, yeah,
So
I think that's part of life that you cannot. I mean, it has to be in everybody's life, no matter
right.
what level.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so that will bring me to today's book that we are discussing.
Hmm.
It is a memoir. It is
Yeah.
called Time Pass,
Right.
and the title is kind of I don't know how to put it.
Mhm.
So, can you
It
tell us
is.
briefly what it is? And
This is a memoir. If you know Pratima Bedi, she is no more. She
okay,
died really young at the age of 50. She was the ex-wife of the famous actor Kabir Bedi, and the mother of actress Pooja Bedi, Bollywood actress Pooja Bedi. So
okay,
she was a phenomenal woman. The title Time Pass, it is definitely, I would say, you should, I don't know if you should go by the name. It is a time pass book because in terms of reading, once you will pick up this book, you will not be able to put it down. But it is
Okay.
definitely not a very lighter, a book which deals with lighter themes, because it was published in 2000, and this woman and this concept and this book is way ahead of its times, because it deals with complicated and very tabooed issues like open marriage. For example, this
Oh,
lady was in an open marriage with Kabir Bedi, and they were very open about it. And she was
okay.
someone who wanted to live life on her own terms. For
Um,
example, she just streaked, she just walked naked on a beach. So these kind of topics she has, spoken about. She was in multiple relationships, and she's
yeah.
open about it, that it is okay to streak, to just walk naked, because by nature we are like that only. Why to put so many taboos about dressing? And it's a form of expression, to feel free. And
Yeah, fashion is a form.
yeah, so she has written on very important issues. And the the biggest thing is, you will end up judging her definitely, because I said she was ahead of her times. Even now, people, for example, I discussed about this book with many people, and they were just telling me, what kind of stuff you keep reading, and she must be, but the point is, whoever takes up this book, they are just not able to put it down. It's so intriguing, it's so interesting. And in at the back, even Khushwant Singh has written that no one will be able to put down time pass once he or she starts reading it. So it's
Okay.
so interesting, and I think it deals with a lot of issues: spirituality, devotion. She later on turned, she started, I think, in 26 or 28. When she was 26 or 28, she started learning classical dance, which is very late for a classical
Oh,
dancer. But
yes,
she was
definitely.
so determined. She started, and she later on started her own school, Nrityagram,
Oh,
which is quite popular.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I heard of that. Okay.
yeah, for Odissi dance. So
Yes.
it's quite a book, very inspiring.
So, would you say it is a good, it is a read, even if you don't know any of these characters who you just spoke about? Because I am one who has never been associated with Bollywood. All of these names are new
Yeah,
to me.
like Parveen Babi, if you know, Danny, if you remember, Mahesh Bhatt.
Danny, I know.
So those details are there. But see, it is, memoirs. I love reading memoirs, but, memoirs are always, people have two extreme opinions about memoirs, because many people don't like reading it, saying that it's just an account by a person. Truth differs from person to person. What
Absolutely.
the truth will be different for me. So it's about perspective. So like last year, Kabir Bedi came up with his memoir, and
Oh,
he had given a lot of answers to what she has written. But still, it
oh.
is, if you can be an objective reader, it's a good read.
Oh, that would be
That's what.
fun to read both the books one after the other.
Yeah, right. Usually, you
I
should
wonder
read
whether
this
they
for the
publish
right.
for this here.
Right. Right.
So this is an account given by her before she died, or is it an account by, because I see the name Pooja Bedi on the cover.
Yeah,
So
because yeah, that's a very good question. So actually, it was written by her, Pratima Bedi, but it was published posthumously by her daughter, and she's the editor, Pooja Bedi.
okay,
And that, so it was published after that. And
okay.
actually, this, I just wanted to mention that this book was gifted to me by one of the writing platforms, Tell Me Your Story TMYS, under their writing program. So I was a participant. So I
Okay,
just wanted to acknowledge that.
great, nice, nice. Okay, so I know memoir always has a lesson that it
Yeah,
teaches. That is the interesting part of a memoir. Otherwise, it is
yeah,
just something. So, what
yeah.
would be your pull from this? The most important lesson that you learned from this book?
Definitely, I cannot accept or any of the takeaways from the book, because she was too bold, and I'm not that kind of a character. I'm very shaded. I'm not that honest or truthful. But yes, to some extent, I am like that. I write about issues, and but in day-to-day life, it's difficult to be like that because we all, there is always a thin line. Sometimes we want to be frank, sometimes we are not that frank. We're afraid of the society and all those stuff. So takeaway, to be honest, started reading it to learn writing, to be honest. And I'm a very literary person. I like, kind of stuff with the moon is talking, the wind is dancing, that kind of writing I like. But this is not at all literary. And this was a good learning lesson to me that how, without being so literary, you can write so well. And takeaway, yes, to live your life in your own terms, to love life despite the challenges it throws. And to be honest, if you're a writer, to be honest, that is
Mhm.
something, because I sometimes write with a lot of inhibition, but that is something which I have to practice, with,
Put
which
your
I
shoes
struggle with.
in, put on the shoes of somebody else and view it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And to be honest to your readers, like she did.
I mean, can't imagine how the daughter would be writing about her mother, or finding all these
Yeah,
facts. And
that
I mean,
is,
pretty she must have been pretty young at the time of most of the facts, or even not born.
yeah,
And pretty bold move to get it out,
yeah,
because you are opening a kind of a closet that could have
right.
been closed.
Very good point.
Uh,
Actually,
could you make out if there was any kind of, what is the relationship that the mother and daughter had? Is it through the stories of the memoir, or is it something that is not touched
um,
upon at all?
no, no, it was extremely. Actually, the younger child, Siddharth, the son of Pratima Bedi and Kabir Bedi, he later committed suicide during his teenage years. So that is also, it's very poignant. Also, the struggles they had. They wanted to set an example for open marriage. It's okay if you're in an open marriage. You can still love your partner. You give that freedom, but it later fails, and then the death of the son, who was schizophrenic, who was diagnosed with schizophrenia. And then there was one boyfriend of Pratima Baby who I molested uh, mm, Pooja Baby. And when she
Oh,
complained, so she didn't believe as a mother. So that was the time when the relationship was a little bit strained. And even it's written interestingly because she was in a relationship with a German guy. And when she was in Bombay, when Kabir used to go for shootings, and they were involved in a very intimate relationship. And later the Siddharth was born. Until 15, they were not sure, both of them, that who is the father, whether it is Kabir Bedi or the German, guys. So it's extremely controversial. At the same time, you have to be really, accepting to read this book. So these kind of things, and which later created some kind of problem between the mother and the son, and even that what I was talking about, the molestation case during that time also. There was some strain in the relationship of mother and daughter, but later on it was sorted. But she was a very different kind of mother, who used to, you know, who encouraged her children, to bunk the school, and she just used to take them, and she used to do picnics over the car top. So, she was a very open and friendly mother as well. So she was a very different character. And as you said, yeah, it must have been very
yeah,
difficult for the daughter, and or she
to
should be
restrain
really
it.
open, yeah, to bring it out.
So there is, I know about a chapter about herself being molested by her
Yeah, yeah,
cousin.
yeah, yeah.
So,
That's in the beginning.
that is
The
in the
day
beginning.
I
So that
came.
would be okay.
Yeah.
So
So
that
that
comes
is
out of
all.
her memory,
Yeah. So
from her writing,
that is
or some
titled.
diary, personal diary.
Yeah. Actually, the chapter is in the book itself. That's the first chapter. My first death. So the first death is
Oh,
because she was, very she was judged a lot because of her dark complexion, because people
oh,
didn't think that she was beautiful. And only later on, when she got young, she was appreciated for her attributes. So she kind of had self-esteem, and that was a time when she was raped by her cousin. Again,
mhm.
it is a topic which is very common, but it is hushed like anything. I think molestation and these kind of cases happens within the family, but because of the relationships, women are forced, and the parents are forced to keep silent. So I think she has brought up a lot of issues. And at some point of time, if not rape, I feel people have tried to, if most of us will see some form of molestation we have faced, even by people whom we know, be it a girl, be it a boy. Even boys have told me, but nobody wants to talk about it. And she wrote about it in 2000. So that's the
That
point.
pretty much. So how many years after she passed away was the book released?
1 year. She
Oh,
passed
one
away
year.
in, I think, 1999, and the book was published in 2000, I guess, if I'm not wrong, if I remember correctly. That's the data,
Oh,
yeah.
the book is in 2000. I don't know. That's pretty like that was a short time.
Yeah, she used
I
to,
think
journal
they would be
everything.
still grieving.
Yeah, yeah, I think during that time, maybe the necessity to, the necessity of expression or telling the world becomes even more the urge.
Yes,
So,
and you find appreciation for even the flaws at that time. That is a very
ex-
delicate time when you cannot actually kind of properly judge effects
right.
and cause.
Yeah, right.
Hmm. So it's hey, what I look at it, it's a read that is pretty much up, more on the lower end than the up and down kind of.
It is
So what do you
humorous
say? It's a
also.
happy read. Okay, so are the happy events as well.
Yeah, it is humorous as well. I found it very interesting because, as you said, I have never read anything on Bollywood before. So I was, as I said, I like literary stuff, and so I wanted to keep it down, but that's the point. I couldn't, because I like literary stuff. The setting should be described properly. There should be dialogues, heavy dialogues, a lot of reflection. Reflection is there in this book, but it's written in a very simple way, and I think simple writing is toughest to do, which people can connect with. But yeah, there is lot of humor. She has made a lot of fun of herself at times, that what she all used to do. We will never talk on such issues, that how she tried to grab the attention, how she just used to cry in front of her husband just to gain the attention and just to make him stay back. I think to some extent we
Emotional
all human
atyachar.
beings are, yeah, to some extent we all human beings are like that,
Oh,
but we don't
definitely.
accept it. But she has accepted and written in a very humorous way.
Nice, nice.
You can connect with it. Yeah.
Which is something. Okay,
Right.
so what about the relationship with her husband? Is that does it seem to be ever have a low, or because it can get tiring if, as I can imagine, an open marriage where
Right.
okay, if the boat is balanced out, maybe it works, but if the boat is rocking in one corner, I'm sure one of them would be feeling a pinch. If you're getting
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Right. So actually, it all started because Kabir wanted to join Kabir Bedi, who was working in advertising industry before, but after getting married to her, actually she got pregnant before even getting married. So then they got married,
Oh,
and yes, and she was hardly 20 years old when she got married, and she just ran away, left her home actually, because as it is written in this, that her father was very dominating, and she just wanted to be free. She was a model, and she wanted to work, which was not allowed in her community. Then she got married, and she was uh, completely, attracted towards Kabir Bedi. But later on, when he got into films, he started getting involved with a lot of women actresses, and he always used to give this kind of explanations that, to be in this kind of industry, you have to maintain relationships, and he used to travel a lot. So she started feeling neglected, and that was a time when she started getting involved with other men, and it was there in her personality even before marriage. And then she realized that she is a free soul, But later on in the middle of the book, you will find that Kabir Bedi, though he used to say that he is okay with the open marriage and they were more like friends and they respected, he wanted someone who was stable and dependable on whom he could depend. So, sometimes even people don't know what kind of person we are. So, it happens with me all the time as a person
People
that
change
I'm not able
also
to understand.
as time goes.
Yeah, we change, we evolve. Completely agree.
Evolve.
We evolve, and sometimes we don't understand ourselves that what really we want. We are confused, and I feel it's okay to be confused. And that's beautifully she has portrayed in this. And she realized that he was not the man who is apt for an open marriage. He wanted to be open, but he wanted someone who, is only on whom
No,
he
I
could
can
depend.
understand it from the male ego point of view. That's
Yeah,
why I asked the question. Yeah.
yeah.
But it is very fantastical, or something that many men can fantasize about,
Mhm.
even though they will not talk about it.
Right.
But when it comes to actually putting to nut and bolt, so putting it down in on pen and paper, that's when
Hmm.
the other questions keep popping up.
Right.
So I
That's
is
all.
pretty bold. So
Yeah.
coming to that, so would you say that the book advocates for or not for open marriage system? I mean, I know it's not the topic of the book, but
Yeah.
from her experience.
See, it depends on the reader also. So as a reader, my perspective, I'll tell you, because I don't know what is going to happen to me after this video will go viral. Not viral, sorry, it will be published. So I hope it goes viral. But I was discussing with my friend and even my with my husband. Like, I always supported open marriages. To be honest,
Okay.
we are not into a kind of open marriage because I don't feel like that for anyone else, maybe. But I think open marriages are a good concept. So for me, I felt like it was a kind of advocacy if it suits you. For example, tomorrow, if my father gets involved with someone, even at this age, and if my mother doesn't have a problem, I will only be happy for him. Or even if my mom is fine with it, if she is not traumatized, I will be happy for him because he has found love somewhere else. For example, I'm telling you. So,
Yeah, yeah, I got it.
I will not feel possessive for my father or my mother or my sister, then why for your husband or wife? So, this is something I don't
Okay.
know if people will be able to connect with, because for me, my husband is my family. For him, I'm,
Yes.
his family, someone whom we love, a friend. So, I don't mind it, to be honest, but I think like that. And that's the reason I felt that it is written in a positive way, but unfortunately it failed in their case because
Yeah, you
she
need.
felt that. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, he didn't keep up to the commitment of it.
Yeah, I mean, he was someone confused. That's what she has written. I have to
Okay.
read Kabir's memoir to understand what his point of view was, but I think she has I don't know, advocated, but she has written about it
Explored.
in a positive way. Yeah. She has
Okay.
normalized multiple relationships and she has normalized open marriages. If you'll see, we are polygamous by nature. Everybody will say, okay, we marry only once, प्यार तो एक ही बार होता है, शादी भी एक ही बार होती है. खैर मेरी तो 2 बार हुई है, to be honest. So I am a domestic violence survivor and I got married for the second
Oh,
time. Or I have written about this in my book also. But to be honest, if you'll see ki, into so many relations we are before we get married, so nobody wants to accept it talk about it, but it's the truth. But ऐसे कुछ
okay.
लिख देता है, if somebody writes about it, people criticize,
Oh,
knowing that we
definitely.
are also like that. So
Yeah.
that's what.
It's society and the
Yeah,
kind of framework in which you have to work.
yeah. So it's a very good answer to the society kind of.
I mean,
I,
before I got married, obviously, there was something, and I'm not advocating for love marriage and against arranged marriage, but I used to always say, arranged marriages are made in a haste most of the times, or somewhere
yeah,
where there is no actual communication. What if
yeah,
the two people actually find the person they were supposed to love after they're married? Then what happens? So
yeah.
I
That's
always used to wonder
exactly.
this. And
Because love,
open marriage was the only solution for that, actually. But as I said, the both should be equally balanced. Then they can keep
yeah,
the secret, keep it
yeah,
a secret
both,
or
yeah,
whatever.
both of them have to be extremely, open
Open to this,
about it and
hence
mature
open
about it.
marriage.
Yeah, and they
It
have
yeah, it does come with some kind of maturity as well, because
maturity.
if you're a kid, you are like, even if I'm not playing
Yeah,
with the toy, I want the toy.
yeah,
I will not share it.
yeah. See, ownership
Right.
is, I don't think so. It's the right thing. I mean,
Yeah, I
people
know,
get
but
very
that's
possessive.
how. Yeah, possessive.
Yeah,
What I meant to say is
yeah,
possessive. Yeah, I'm not talking about ownership, but possessive
yeah, that's
about it.
right.
So that was really intriguing, to be frank. And since I am somebody who doesn't even know who any of these characters are, and I still found this to be an
Mm,
interesting book, I would say this book is something that somebody should pick up and read,
right.
especially now that it's exploring this topic.
Yeah.
It's a topic that I don't never heard of in any non-fictional book. Fictional books, yes, but
Yeah.
non-fiction, I
To be
don't know.
honest,
I
right,
mean,
right.
unless there's a one-on-one dummies for open marriage kind of book, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Actually, Kamala Das has written her autobiography. Kamala Das.
Okay, sorry.
So she has also very honestly written, because she was in multiple relationships. Later on, she got into Amrita Pritam was one, and
Oh,
they like even lived with men who were like 25 or 30 years younger to them.
okay.
So they were like open. They have written Kamala
Oh,
Das
great.
autobiography, my story. Yeah.
Okay,
So that is
okay,
one non-fiction which I know, not
okay.
anything else. Yeah.
Great, great to know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there are any. Is there any other thing about this book that we have not covered without giving too many
Uh, I don't think so. I
spoilers?
should be. Yeah, I shouldn't be giving spoilers. I think that's enough to, for anybody to pick up this book and have a. It's a fun read. Despite being poignant, despite being so bold, if you can just be objective as a reader, if you'll pick this up, you are going to enjoy it. I really enjoyed this book. This is not my kind of book, to be honest, but I really enjoyed reading it.
Great, great. Well, Akila, thank you so much for sharing about the book and about your poetries as well. And
Thanks, Shreya.
it was really nice being with you and having this
Same here.
conversation. Hope to see you soon again. And I'm
Sure.
looking forward to your next release. Maybe we can have a talk on that.
Sure. I'm also hoping. Thanks a lot, Sheldon. Thanks for having
Yes,
me.
yes,
Your
yes.
name reminds me of the character from Big Bang Theory.
Well, actually, I am named after the author Sidney Sheldon.
Yeah, that also,
Uh,
Sidney Sheldon, one of my favorite authors, and then the character, very interesting
yeah,
character
I
from Big
actually
Bang
don't like
Theory.
him too much. That's why I immediately told you. Right? Thank.
I like the character.
He's too close to home, actually. That's why I don't like him.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Thank you so much and have a
Thanks,
pleasant
Sheldon.
evening.
Same to you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon with the next live. Bye.